And welcome back to this week's episode of Ask the Instructor. My name is John Chrisman. This show is brought to you by the Tampa School of Real Estate every Wednesday. Make sure you're subscribed. If you're watching on Facebook or YouTube, go ahead and hit that little bell icon. You'll get notifications, but better yet, again, go to tampaschool.com, drop in your email, and again, check out that new course we just launched, How to Get Started in Real Estate, the Sales Associate Licensing Guide, only $1 as a launch special to get started. So check that out if you're ready to learn more about starting a real estate career and what it takes. We break that down all real simple. That's our number one core value here at Tampa School Real Estate is keep it simple. And that's what we're constantly trying to do. We're trying to simplify. We're trying to distill down information because that's how we make things easier. If, like I mentioned earlier, you're ready to quit your job. You want to do real estate, but you don't know how. You don't know if you can. One of the most essential things is understanding a pipeline. And look, I'm not here to build some super complex presentation today that's going to confuse you. We're going to talk about this in simple terms because when you simplify, when you keep it simple, things can get done. When things become more complicated, who knows if we're ever going to finish that. And if you want to get things as simple as possible, go get that Getting Started course, only $1 as a launch special at tampaschool.com. So a pipeline. We're not talking about a fuel pipeline. We're talking about a pipeline of business. Let's do it horizontally today. A pipeline of business. And ultimately, we want to get to commissions. So in real estate, we're paid a commission. If you don't have a real estate license, you don't know what it is you do in real estate brokerage services. You don't buy and sell real estate yourself. You're helping others buy and sell real estate. And through helping others buy and sell real estate, you charge a commission. So, say you sell $1 million property and there is a 3% commission. That's a $30,000 commission. You probably have some split with your broker where your broker gets maybe 20, 30% of that amount. But that's just one sale. Now, granted, that's $1 million house, but let's cut it in half. Let's say it's only a $500,000 house. That's pretty close to average in the Tampa Bay area right now. That's still a $15,000 commission. That's for one sale. You do one of those a month, and you can see how quickly that adds up. But if you want to get to doing business, one sale per month, that's not something that just happens the moment you get a real estate license. Now, if you're a well-connected person, that's a huge advantage. If you're a salesperson already, that's a huge advantage. If you've ran a business before, that's a huge advantage. But at the same time, your biggest disadvantage, I would put it two ways. Number one, lack of knowledge. But not that you don't already have knowledge, because if you've already done sales, you've already ran a business before, you've maybe done real estate transactions before, maybe you're already a real estate investor. You might be bringing some knowledge to the table, but just like we'll tell you in your pre-licensing class if you haven't took one yet. And that course is very specific for the state exam, and that's the primary objective of that. But one of the important things is a lot of the information from the real world can interfere with the basic theory for the state exam. That's why it's important for us to keep things simple. But you yourself have to simplify things down as well. After you get your license, after you're in the real world and you're trying to get to commissions, the more complicated you make this pipeline to get to commissions, the more difficult it will be for you to get to commissions. And if you want to get to doing this regularly once a month, you need to have simple steps, simple stages that you can be walking people through to get to commissions. Now, commissions come from closings. So this is where title company gets involved. Maybe you're a title agent. We have got a lot of title agents and title industry people that have came to get their real estate license, came over to the dark side, as they sometimes like to say. And again, there's a lot of specific knowledge you have on that side, but unless you ran a title company, maybe the whole running a business aspect is new. And for a lot of people, if you're ready to quit your job but you've never ran a business before, and that's maybe one of the hesitations or the fears it is that you have. And look, if you want to talk about any of this confidentially, I know some of this stuff could get a little too deep to go into a public social media chat. I'm all for sharing. But if you want to talk to one of our advisors confidentially about what you're thinking of doing, what you're trying to do, we could do that right over the phone, confidentially, 813-333-2676, to talk about your options and what information is going to be necessary to be able to understand this. You have your pre-licensing course to get your license, but your post-licensing course you're required to take right after that is going to go into a lot of real-world knowledge, such as building a pipeline. So if this information excites you and you already have your license, have you done post-licensing yet? And even if you have you done our post-licensing? Especially either of our instructor-led live stream options. We've got a self-guided course option as well, but this information, because it is so real-world, this is where there's a huge benefit. I know a lot of people like to say, you know, I like having an instructor. I don't want to do something self-guided. Oh, by the way, talking about that, just to throw another shameless plug in for Tampa School of Real Estate, we're actually about to launch a new video-based pre-licensing course. It is 100% recorded, 100% edited, and actually we're ready to launch it right now. There's a few tweaks we're doing just to add improvements to it. Not even necessarily anything we need for compliance purposes, but things that we know is going to help provide the best experience possible. And we're launching that on July 1st. So if you want to pre-order that now, we've got a great pre-order special if you buy it before it goes live on July 1st. Check out tampaschool.com for that. But anyways, getting back to building out a pipeline. And that's a tangent was instructor-led courses. If you like an instructor, this content for post-licensing, it really helps to really bring this to life. That's what an instructor does. They bring the content to life because they are a life form. So that if anyone has taken a Tampa School Real Estate class, you probably had an instructor that, maybe I was that instructor that you're like, yeah, I had the best instructor ever. But we've got a whole team of Beyond Me. There's way more reviews for all of our other instructors, only because there's one of me, and we've got, I don't know, like 30 different instructors that have taught classes with us. So we try to recruit the best of the best and provide the best experience possible. And you can Google us if you don't want to take my word for it. And welcome into everybody that is tuning in online. Old Mark Zuckerberg over here wants me to authenticate with some code here to log in so I can see the chat. So bear with me for a moment while I deal with the good people at Facebook. They better not call me. They've been doing that recently. We're like, oh, yep, there they go. They're calling me. All right, I'll just go to the page. Don't want to talk to Facebook right now. I don't know why they make it so difficult to log into it. It's because Facebook, you can do a lot more stuff on it now. But Facebook is so much less of a social media platform than it used to be. It used to be really you just go on there to share stuff. Now you can go buy stuff with Facebook. And I'm not even talking about Facebook Marketplace, but they have like a whole wallet thing. Maybe you're watching on tampaschoolrealestate.com. Welcome in. I think we moved the comment box up a little bit because it was way down at the bottom of the page before. Because we want to know your thoughts on this information of what we could do to help make this more related to you. All right, there we go, YouTube. Welcome in, Cynthia. Let's get the Facebooks up here. Come on, Mark. Don't let me down. If you're like, who is this Mark guy? Mark doesn't work here. Mark is the guy who works for Facebook. There we go. Cool. I'm not signed in. I'm just a guest. Hopefully they'll let me watch. Maybe not. Well, welcome in anyways. Let's get back to it. Let's talk about building this pipeline, because that's what you're here for. You're like, John, just get to the point. Get to the point. Let's build the pipeline. So we want to get to commissions. We want to get to closings, and these are all C words that we need. Because if you want, here's what you want to be in real estate to get paid. You want to be a closer. You want to be a closer. And in order to be a closer, you got to have all these C words, because if you don't, you won't like with what you're left with. Take away the C and you're not liking that word. Because if you don't have commissions or closings, or what do you need to get to a closing? Well, you're going to need a contract. And look, if the word contract stresses you out and freaks you out, because I know it did when I first got my real estate license, the word contract was something that kept me from doing business, because I was afraid of the contract. But here's a few reasons why you shouldn't be. Number one, these contracts are fill in the blank. We're using standardized forms from the Association of Realtors where we fill in the blanks for simple things like the price and what type of financing we're checking a box for. We're filling in a blank for number of days. Now, understanding how to negotiate this, that's a different story, but that's probably not what you're intimidated by. When you hear the word contract, it's because you've probably had a contract before that's super complex. And honestly, once you take this pre-licensing course, especially if you pay attention to the vocabulary, these contracts are going to make a lot of sense if you just read them. They're not that complex. They're pretty plain English for these realtor contracts. They do a pretty good job, I will say that. And here's another benefit you have with the Florida Association of Realtors. Now, if you're watching outside of Florida, I don't know if every state association has this benefit, but the legal hotline. Google Florida Realtor Legal Hotline, and if you're a member of the Florida Realtors, which if you've joined any local association in Florida, you're a member of the Florida Realtors, you could call in and talk to the legal hotline to get help with contracts. To make it where this is not a bottleneck in your pipeline. If you've heard that term before of bottleneck, this is what a bottleneck looks like. Oh, no. Hold on. There we go. And if contracts are your bottleneck, that's where you lose all your business. You don't want to have any bottlenecks that look like a bottle. The neck of a bottle. How it gets narrow, and if you're not good with contracts, which again, that's honestly the thing is, you might just be intimidated by them. And the best thing to really do once you have your license, once you're a member of the Association of Realtors and you have access to these standardized fill-in-the-blank contracts, just read them. And if you have questions as you're reading through them, call in that legal hotline and ask your questions. You'll be able to speak to a attorney in good standing with the Florida Bar who works for the Association of Realtors. They don't work for you. They're not your attorney. So this isn't like a, hey, I need you to defend me in court. Can you be there tomorrow? They're not that type of attorney hotline. And this is included with your realtor benefits. You call into them, but it's informational. You can get questions. You can even have an active deal. You could say, hey, I've got this situation going on. What does the contract mean as it relates to this? And every time I've called into this hotline, I've been very satisfied with the answers they provide. There may not always be the answers that I'm looking for. It may not be all the information that I was really wanting, but it at least gets me pointed in the right direction almost every time. So we're going to erase this because we're not going to have any bottlenecks here. Now, if you have a pipeline that you're paying attention to, you'll be able to catch these bottlenecks. If you're just kind of taking real estate as it comes, if you're just kind of taking it as it comes and just, hoping for the best, that's where, who likes Jurassic Park, all the Jurassic movies? Maybe you've seen the new one in theaters. Maybe you have mixed feelings about the new ones. I don't know. It's hard to make a good sequel nowadays, it seems like. But they're trying to make sequels for everything, so I don't know. But in the Jurassic movies, the one Dr. Malcolm or whatever, he talks about his chaos theory idea. That if something can go wrong, it will go wrong. And that's what you want to keep in mind with your pipeline. And that's why you don't want to rely on any one client, because if there's something that can go wrong, it could go wrong. And look, real estate can be extremely stressful if you've got one deal that you're trying to hold together and that falls apart and now you've got nothing. Because imagine you've got a family to feed and you're trying to put food on the table and your one contract falls out of contract. That might be the reason why it's held you back from starting in real estate, is that it is the, and look, you don't have to admit that on here, but admit it to yourself at least. If that's the reason why you haven't taken these steps to get started, maybe it's because you're afraid of the stability. You like the safety and the security that a job provides. But with all the headlines in the news and things you see about the economy and the stock market and people getting laid off or whatever it may be, the world could be great and there could be something going on in your life where all of a sudden that safety and stability maybe isn't as secure as it seems to be. And one of these other C words on here is control. And that's one of the major reasons why a lot of people come to us, is they feel like they're out of control with their life. That someone else is in control, that a company is in control, that they've got no control. That's a huge reason why people come to us seeking a new path through real estate. Because they want to take control of their lives. And that's something that you need to do if you want to be successful in real estate. If you don't take control of your life, chaos theory. What can go wrong? Not saying everything will go wrong, but if there's things that go wrong, and even if there's things you couldn't predict that could go wrong, chances are there's something that's going to go wrong. But the more control that you take, the more you can manage these unknowns. Just like they were trying to keep the dinosaurs in the containment area. They didn't have enough control, and so they couldn't keep the dinosaurs contained. Also, wouldn't be probably the most exciting movie if it was just dinosaurs like all behind cages and whatnot, and that's nothing really happened. Maybe they could have made it a love story, I don't know. But if they had more control, that's probably would have been the movie. But it's the lack of control that allowed the chaos to ensue. And so you've got to have control, not just of your life, but in real estate of your pipeline, of your business in your pipeline. If you're in sales, you understand this concept of a pipeline. And you might be wondering, well, how do I get to contracts? If we're going to back up this pipeline more. Clients. And then, how do I get to clients? Contacts. They're all C words. You need contacts to get clients, to get contracts, to get closings, to get commissions, so you have plenty of C's, so you're not one of these. You want to be a closer. That's the goal. And you cannot rely on one, because if your pipeline doesn't look like that, instead it looks like this. Because you've got one contact who you're hoping will become a client, who you're hoping will become a closing, who you're hoping will become a commission. This is not a pipeline. That's a process. That's a process. But this process is not a process if there's no one to process. You have to have people to process, and that's why you need to be building this pipeline. And if you don't have commissions, well, get some closings. You don't have some closings, get some contracts. You don't have contracts, you need to get some clients. And if you don't have clients, you need more contacts. And yes, you can improve your ability to turn contacts into clients. You could improve your ability to turn clients into contracts. You could improve your ability to turn contracts into closings. And this should hopefully be 100% of the time. Every time you close, you're getting paid. As long as you got your paperwork done, you're licensed, you're not doing anything illegal, there shouldn't be any reason you don't get paid. And there's legal recourse if you don't get paid when you're due to be paid. As long as you're operating legally, meaning you have a real estate license, it's active, and so on and so forth. You're minding all the other rules and regulations that you learn about in pre-licensing. That's why it's so rule heavy, is because the Florida Real Estate Commission wants to make sure you know the rules before they let you play. You've got to prove that you know the rules before they'll let you play the game. And once you get your ticket to play, your license, then you need to take post-licensing, because that's what's going to dive deeper in more of a curriculum-based format. Look, I love getting on here and talking to you guys in these live streams, especially when we can interact and talk about this, but this isn't as much of a curriculum as any of the courses that we have put together. Look, that licensing course, how to get started in real estate. There's tons of information all over the internet that you could piece together. But if you want one stop, one shop, easy in and out, simple as it needs to be, with the essential phone numbers, contacts, without having to click through secret menus to go find the phone number because they're trying to hide it, we clicked through all that for you, found all that, put it all in there, wrapped it up, and we're selling it for $1. $1 at tampaschoolrealestate.com. And now you might be wondering, how do I build a pipeline if I don't have a license yet? How do I get started doing this? Do I go right into, get enrolled in some courses so that way you can get your real estate license, because if you don't have a license, that's where this becomes illegal and you can't get paid. So if you want to be able to broker real estate transactions legally and earn commission, to earn 2, 3, 4% of the sale price per side of the sale, and if you're a well-connected person, if you've got connections, that's another C word that's very powerful, because your connections, another word for contact, but I would say a connection is maybe better than just any old contact. A connection is maybe like you know somebody who knows a lot of people. A neighborhood busybody is a great example. Now, why would a realtor want to know neighborhood busybody? Well, because if you know the neighborhood busybody, you'll know everything that's going on in the neighborhood without having to be there. You get your status updates from the neighborhood busybody. So having that good relationship with these more powerful connections that could get you in touch and in contact with the right people at the right time. Because that's how you transition these contacts into clients, is you've got to follow up, stay in touch, so you're available at the right time. And the bigger you build that sphere, the more likely you're going to find people more ready to go sooner rather than later. It's a numbers game at that point. That's really what the pipeline is. You increase the size of this pipeline. You blow this thing up to where you've got so many contacts that you've got people lined up to become clients. You're working with multiple clients to get properties under contracts, and you're managing those contracts to the closings so you get paid commission. You want to be working in multiples. Every single one of these stages, you want to have multiples in your business, because if you're looking for safety and security out of real estate, it can provide it, but you need to be working in multiples. You need to be treating this like a business, not treating it like a part-time job. You could be starting real estate part-time, but don't treat it like a part-time job. Don't treat it like you're bagging groceries at the weekend at the grocery store. You got to treat this like your business, and you want to be thinking smart, because that's going to help save you time. But how do you think smart if you don't know? That's why you need to take post-licensing. That's why you want to be registered with a broker that provides great training that's going to help you better understand and further understand real estate as it relates to the specifics of your brokerage. Because there's going to be things specific about whatever brokerage you join that there should be training on. And even if there wasn't, beyond what's in that post-licensing course, you want to constantly be expanding your knowledge. And that's why, again, we do these live streams every single week, Wednesdays and Fridays. But let's recap some of this stuff, because we're coming up on about a half hour here soon. Almost out of time. So how do you fill this pipeline with leads? Wrong question. Wrong question. Because like I said, you don't want to be this. You don't want to be this, so that's why you need all these C words. So you're not one of these. You're not one of those. That's why I don't even want to say it. But here's what happened if you think of your contacts as leads. You're a little loser. If you think of your contacts as leads, I just want leads. You got to put the C word in there. As long as you got some C's in there, you could be a closer. You will get leads if you focus on the C's. If you focus on the relationships and building contacts, making connections, making friends, if you want to call it that, knowing more people. Because if they don't know you, they can't do business with you. They cannot become a client. Too many people. That is, if you're going to take one thing away from today's episode, and this, we could have did a 2-minute video that just told you this one thing. So if you're looking for the 2-minute advice, here it is. Do not think of your contacts as leads. Think of them as contacts who could potentially become a client. Take away that lead word, because we talk about lead, we talk about cost per lead, return on lead. There's all these lead terms that are very salesy, very, very, very abrasive. We wouldn't call our contact, we probably wouldn't even call him a contact. But if we call him a contact, that's a lot better than calling a lead. Because if you refer to somebody as my contact, hey, this is my contact, that's not such a bad word. This is my lead. Well, lead is a business word. We're trying to squeeze money out of this person if it's a lead. And look, don't get me wrong. There's a business side of this. And yes, we do need to make money off of these people. If we don't get past this stage, if we just have a bunch of friends, that's not going to pay us anything. So don't get me wrong, we do need to move through these stages, but you're not necessarily here to push people. Let's call it that, to push people. And when I say push, let's be specific about that definition. When I'm saying pushing, I'm meaning that something doesn't make sense, but you're still asking them to do it. Because if you can't make sense of it, then why should they do it? If you can make sense of it, then they should do it. That's what we do as salespeople in real estate. We're not here to push things because we have so many things we could sell. We could sell any real estate. We could broker any deal, any real estate transaction, any property that's out there in Florida, we could broker the deal. And if we focus on growing this, growing the contacts, growing the amount of people it is that we know, and providing value to them, and showcasing our professionalism to them. That's what marketing does. That's what's going to get people to gravitate towards you. Now, until you start developing a strong brand, and I don't mean brand by colors and logos, I mean brand by people's awareness of you. That's what your brand is. And as you build your brand, your contacts are going to gravitate into clients more naturally. But when you're starting out, you've got to focus more directly on reaching out to your contacts, on establishing better relationships with your contacts, establishing relationships with new contacts. Look, you probably already have a huge sphere of influence of maybe past coworkers, family, friends. You might say, well, I just moved to Florida. All my people are out of state. Fantastic. Do you know about referral fees? If not, go back and watch our videos we've done past couple of weeks. We've done a few videos. Go to tampaschool.com and search referral. And there are REF, we'll put that up here because I know referral is a weird one to spell always. 1F, 2 R's. Search referral on tampaschool.com. You'll be able to see some videos of explaining how to earn referral fees, because if you're licensed in Florida, you could refer business all over the world and earn a percentage of the commission. You don't even do the deal. Another real estate professional does the deal, and this could be right in your own backyard just because you're too busy. If you're busy with a day job, you could build an extremely powerful pipeline that monetizes based on referrals. And then you could tap into somebody else's ability to do all of this, to take the client to the contract, to the closing of the commission. There's a lot to learn to be able to master this step, to become really efficient at it. So if you don't have a lot of time to work with it to start and you want to take advantage of all of your contacts and be able to monetize them, that's where referral fees basically take you out of the process right here. You hand over that client to a realtor who signs off on a referral agreement. They sign off on it. We hand over the client, turn over their information to them. We make the connection, another C word we've got up here. We're making the connection. So that way, this realtor can serve that client, get the deal done, because when they get paid a commission, we get paid a referral fee. Maybe 25% of whatever commission they're earning. So this is a $500,000 house, and it's a $15,000 commission, and you're earning 25%, let's say. Let's do the math up here. I know we're almost out of time for today, but let's leave on this quick math here, because who doesn't like some good math? Most people don't like good math. But this is some math that you will like, because this is money math. Everybody likes that math. Who's seen those little banking commercials from Bank of America? Everybody loves banking. You think about it, we're banking all the time, especially if we're thinking about money. So $450,000, let's say they charge a 3% commission and you're getting a 25% referral fee, $3,300. You're not doing the deal, you're just making the connection. If you want to find out more about this, about getting your license, about learning more how to build a business pipeline, how to get leads, how to build a business plan, maybe you're ready to get your broker license. Or maybe you don't know where to begin and you just want to spend that dollar to get started. Go to tampaschool.com or call us at 813-333-2676 to speak to one of our licensed advisors. And when I say licensed advisors, these are people that have real estate licenses themselves. We have an amazing team here at Tampa School of Real Estate of people with sales associate, broker, as well as instructor, like, of course, instructors for a school. But you can call up on the phone and talk to these people and pick their brain and ask questions and figure out what are the next steps you need to take to build your real estate empire. So I want to thank you for tuning in today. If you like today's show, hit that thumbs up button for us. Drop us a comment. And again, check us out at tampaschool.com. Make sure you're subscribed to the channel. We'll be back on this Friday for State of Real Estate, where we talk more about the growth side of building your real estate business, which we actually talked about quite a bit today. We talk about building your real estate business a lot because there's a lot of information that's easy stuff like this that if you apply to your business, you will see growth in this. The half hour you may invest in watching this show today could pay immense dividends if you take action on this information. Look, if you're just here to get entertained by me, welcome. Welcome. I had ideas before of being a stand-up comedian or some sort of musician or whatever it is. I like being in front of a crowd, so that's cool if you're here to be entertained by me. But if you want to learn how to make money, we can help you with that as well. But only if you apply this information. So take some action, implement this, start thinking about it. If you don't have anything yet, start thinking about it and just start building out a plan. If you've been trying to quit your job, and I say that because that's what I did when I started in real estate. I wanted to quit my job. I loved my job at first, but a couple years into it, I wasn't moving as fast as I wanted to. There was so many things that were out of my control. I truly, again, did feel outside of control. And that's what pushed me into pursuing getting my real estate license and starting my real estate career. But it doesn't happen by itself. You have to have immense intentional efforts to make this happen. So take action. Don't think about it. Just go and do. Commit now and figure the rest out later. That might sound a little scary, but especially when it's something that you want to do. Don't get hung up on a little detail that in the grand scheme of things is going to be insignificant. Take the action to live the life it is that you want to live, to pursue the dreams it is that you want to go after. I did, and look at me now. I remember my manager, when I quit my job, my last day, said, you'll probably be back. I don't know how many years it's been now. I'm still not back. Maybe someday, though. Maybe she's still got hope. I don't even know if she still works there anymore. We didn't keep in touch, obviously. But that's all the time we've got for today. Thank you for tuning in. That's all we've got for this week's episode of Ask the Instructor. We'll be back on Friday for State of Real Estate. Thank you so much for watching. Again, you need any help with anything, you want some information, 813-333-2676, or check out all of our videos, all of our courses, everything we've got. We put it on tampaschool.com, so check that out, tampaschool.com. Or call us 813-333-2676. Thanks for tuning in today, and I'll see you on Friday. Are you studying for your Florida real estate exam? If you are, you need to check out our Pass First Try strategy. You're going to love this. It's 4 steps that we break down the process to study for your Florida real estate exam. So you're set up to pass your Florida real estate exam because that's what you're studying for, right? To pass your exam. It's 4 steps. Number 1, you learn the information. You've got to learn this to be able to pass the exam, but it doesn't stop at learning. Step 2, you've got to reinforce the basic, simple, key concepts. As you learn this information, keep reviewing the simple things. You don't need to know everything, but you got to review these basic key concepts. Step 3, you've got to test your knowledge. The exam's going to test your knowledge, so if you don't test your knowledge in advance, you won't find out if you know what you think you know until you take the exam. And then step 4 is be confident and prepared, because even if you know this material, you need to be confident that you know the material. Check out the full strategy at passfirsttry.com. That's passfirsttry.com. Hey, so if you're thinking about starting a real estate career, it could feel a little overwhelming sometimes. Look, that's completely understandable. That's why we're here to help. If you haven't already, check out our Success Center, tampaschool.com/success, or if you don't even know where to begin, give us a call. We'd love to help you out. We've got advisors standing by to answer any questions you have and assist you in any way it is that we can. Our phone number is 813-928-0106. Again, that's 813-928-0106. Give us a call. We're the Tampa School of Real Estate.
Do you want a career that allows you to be in control? With a career in real estate, you'll get to call the shots. Whether you're looking at starting part-time or want to become the next top agent, a career in real estate makes it possible. Find out what it takes at tampaschool.com. Do you want to incorporate studying for your real estate exams into your busy schedule? Now you can review the key topics you need to know to pass your class and state exams with our MP3 audio review. Simply pop in your headphones or connect to your car to reinforce crucial information while you exercise or drive. Listen to the first unit for free at mp3audioreview.com. That's mp3audioreview.com.
Are you thinking about a career in real estate? Hey, I'm John Christman with the Tampa School of Real Estate, and we've helped thousands of people just like you obtain their real estate license. If you're thinking about a career in real estate, give us a call. The phone number is 813-928-0106. Our advisors are standing by to answer any questions you have and assist you in any way they can. Hey, if you're enjoying the show today, which I'm sure you are, be sure to hit like, subscribe, post your comments, share with your friends and family. Thank you guys so much for watching.